nothing's greater than knowing, because you've been there, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, you've made the world a better place, a positive place. The game is on.
It's game on.
Take hold of the opportunity, the resources that you have in your country, in your community.
Awake the beast inside. This is go season. Let's build, let's create, let's step it up and shine bright lights in our community.
Reform Generation, creating bright lights in communities.
And with that, we welcome you to the TTT News Special. I'm DK Roster, and we are joined by a guest who has performed and shared stages with numerous international musical acts such as George Benson, Tye Tribbet, Beenie and Kerwyn Dubois. A Dago lady, she has founded Reform Generation, an organization seeking to impact lives and make a difference. Krystle Bascombe joins us now. Hello, Krystle, how are you doing?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Thank you for making the time, because I want to know, in terms of providing an outlet in a time like this, why this project and why now?
That's a very interesting question. So prior to COVID, I would have been outside working. I would have worked with numerous, different bands. And I mean, the last people that I was working with is Cirque du Soleil. The experience out there and seeing the need home is something that I would honestly wanted to bring back home for quite some time. This has been almost 10 years in making. Almost 10 years in the making. And the time is right because, again, I had to come back home and because of COVID. And I decided, you know what, there's so much negative and heavy vibe that is going around the country, and I see in the need where a lot of young people is so interested in learning, is so interested in music. I wanted to create a platform that I could take the knowledge that I gain outside and bring it back home and pump it into communities across Trinidad and Tobago.
But it's 10 years in the making, and once again, you use the word platform. So
Yes.
What's the difference between a school and a creative platform?
All right. So a school obviously will just based on school, right? Will just based on the learning and of course developing, which is also part of it. But because of the current state of the country based on COVID-19 and all the restrictions, an online platform was created where, of course, everybody is using Zoom now, everybody is using different online platforms to get the education out. Along with a friend of mine who also created a platform for music teaching. I spoke to him and he opened up his platform to me in order to provide it for people of Trinidad and Tobago. However, for me, it's more than just music. The platform, and why I'm calling it a platform is because I want to create a space for anybody that wants to develop in the arts, music, whatever it is, to have that safe space, that safe place to be able to just come and learn, come and create, and also eventually highlight them.
Now, I like the fact that you speak about one company, but two programs, and just the fact that the artwork that we see, it speaks about light. So break down those two directions or two different themes,
Yes.
headings that go towards impacting future good things.
Yes. So again, coming back home, seeing everything that is happening across the nation and seeing the need to implement certain practices and also just create a positive environment and space for persons across the nation and within communities I mean, I've grown up seeing Best Village and the impact Best Village made in communities, how together Best Village it still exists, and I think it's a great it's a great space for learning. It's a great space for dance and the arts. And I grew up understanding Best Village and how community based it was back then, with drummers, with dancers, and everybody come together. And um, I mean, my mother, sorry, was a part of Best Village, and I saw where that platform allowed, the community to be so together. And I feel like currently where we are at in Trinidad, the negative connotation behind what happens in certain communities is so pressing that I wanted to create something that we could be proud of, communities could be proud of. So of course the learning part of it, which is the creative side of it, yes, it is an online music program designed to develop young, old, there is no age limit to it. And it's just a space that eventually, I mean, right now, yes, it is online, but my intention is eventually to, find maybe community centers or find buildings that you could come and just be creative, have the freedom to be creative, and most importantly, in a positive manner. There are a lot of young guys who, and I'm sure you're very familiar with, the whole Zesta movement and the Zest lifestyle. And music is impacting them in that way. And you tend to find that they are representing parts of their communities. And I would love to be able to channel it in a positive direction, whether it's through singing, whether it's through learning an instrument, whether it's through anything that involves the arts. Right now, I'm more focused on the creative side, on the music learning part of it, which obviously it's bass, guitar, drums, and keyboard. However, eventually I want to open it up to vocals and dance, and also bring back part of what I was doing outside back in Trinidad, which is introduce the cirque acts, something that I don't see much here. I know there is places that it exists in, but we don't see much of cirque acts existing in Trinidad, and I would love to bring part of that back into the country as well. The other side of it, where you would have seen highlight, there are many people that exist within various communities across Trinidad that actually makes positive impacts in their community. However, there are people who exist right in the community with them, don't even know that they exist, don't even know what they do on a regular basis. And my that part of it is basically going to take on the form of somewhat of a blog to educate and to highlight these people within their communities. And just so that, people will see that, hey, there is somebody in my community that is doing something positive. It could be anything, whether it be sweeping the streets, whether it be a musician that is known, but people don't even know that he exists in that community. This is also another part of it, why I'm saying to create, and then there is highlight. So I want to highlight um, the positive influences that exist in communities across Trinidad and Tobago.
I really like that, because in terms of creating those bright lights, that is an end unto itself, because some people feel that fulfillment, that validation, just in terms of learning this new skill, being able to express themselves this way.
Yes.
But I also appreciate the fact that you're saying, as opposed to just having people who have these talents and have these gifts, being able to share that and let other people see them, so that we have people being able to smell flowers while they're still around to do that. But we continue with the conversation after the break. I want to get some more information in terms of the logistics from you. I also heard that it starts on the 3rd of August. So we discuss that in a little bit. Krystle Bascombe, the founder for Regen, starts on August the 3rd, online music program. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are speaking with Krystle Bascombe, a young lady who is creating safe spaces for young people who are starving for opportunities to channel their creativity. Plain talk, bad manners, drunk or sober, mind your business, Krystle. Logistics of it. It starts on the 3rd. Who
Yes.
specifically are you looking for, and how do they be a part of this project?
All right. So as I explained just now, there is two. It's basically two entities that will be coming together. So we are starting the first part, which is the creative side, on the 3rd of August, which is basically next week. Um, we have um, I have some amazing tutors that is a part of it with me who all have um, their own music stuff that's going on, and it's basically like a conglomerate of us that came together and decided to do this. Um, I want to shout them out in the meantime. It's Daniel Bishop. He has Heaven Sent Production. He is also a very good multi-talented. He has his own multimedia platform, and Daniel has been playing, for many years with various artists across Trinidad and Tobago. I also have um, John Waterman. He's the guitar teacher that will be with me. And John has been even in bands with me before, playing along with the Love Circle. I know he did stuff with Brian McFarlane, and he's also an undergraduate from UWE as well. And John is the guitar teacher. I also have Karen Charles, which is bassist Karen Charles, who have played with many in the soca fraternity across Trinidad and Tobago, and he's gonna be the bass teacher. And I have Mr. Ruel Lynch, who is also a keyboard teacher, and he is also a producer. He has DPP, he has numerous awards. And one more teacher that is not seen in the video, but she's there, Michelle Henry, who will be taking on music theory. Music theory will also be almost, but it is compulsory to every subject that we will be touching on. It will be done on a different day, and basically it's a general musicianship class that will be done, which is included in the program as well.
And that's one
Um,
of the things I wanted to ask about, because for some it's just, yeah man, I just need to know to play and then I'll pick it up by ear. But it
yes,
seems as though this is something that you're really pushing. You just said it's compulsory. Why is it
yes.
so important that music theory is learned to be a part of this?
I saw the need for having both. I mean, I grew up playing music by ear. However, I went to school outside, and I saw the benefits of knowing both. And I don't want to leave any tables unturned. And it is, to me, just as important as the practical. You have both, you are more marketable, you are more accessible. And I want to make sure that I reach every platform or every area, sorry, that could cover music in general. And it happens in schools, and if we could at least start the process in the most prolific way. And I'm saying that because I'm mirroring how I learn outside, and I would want to bring that back here. It's very important. Music theory is just as important as the practical. And I want to press that, and I want to make sure that everybody that comes under Reform Generation is theoretically inclined.
Now the ad look nice, but I see you giving instruments to people.
Yes.
What, how does that translate to actual school? Is it that people would need to have their instruments, or do they access them differently? Take me through that process.
All right. So if you look carefully in that particular ad, you would see that it's actually people from my community, hail out to my boys and all of them that existed in the ad from my community. And it's a really, I really wanted to drive home the fact that, hey, I am targeting the people in communities. It's for everyone. And specifically, I don't want it to be limited to just kids or youths, anybody that could represent their community. As it stands right now, because it's online, it's a little difficult to be able to provide instruments for the different, guitar, bass, keyboard. However, for drums, it's very creative. I mean, the same way I learn from playing on buckets, we find anything that you can hit on. That's why I call it a creative space. We're going to be creating. Um, For the other instruments, it would be a little difficult. And right now, when it's online, we may probably need to have, persons with their instruments. However, as the country opens up and it gets more into, a safer place where we can meet, my aim and my mission is to try my best to get as much sponsors as I could that could supply instruments so that people could just come and learn, even if they don't have an instrument.
And what kind of figures are we looking at in terms of cost as well as the duration? Because the same way you said you needed to return because of the pandemic, I answer the question to say, well, when this pandemic done, you going again, so I need to be a part of this.
I repeat your question. I didn't hear the question.
How long will the course be going on for, and
Okay.
what kind of cost range are we looking at?
This is actually set up in like 3-month segments, but it will be going on as long as whether I'm here or not. I have a team of people that I am I'm very confident in that could pass the baton on, that I could pass the baton on to, and hopefully be able to in the future have different people setting it up in different parts of Trinidad, so that they will be, so obviously, all right, you have a place in the west, you have a place in the east, north, south, etc. And it's something that I want to have continuous, but in 3-month segments.
All right, and I did.
The cost as well currently is $300 TT, and that's per month, which also includes the music theory class as well. It covers music theory and it covers whichever instrument that anyone is interested in.
All right, how does registration take place though, and as well in terms of contacting Reform Generation? If someone says, okay, well, I have this instrument, or I'd want to inject some funds or some time or some resources, how do they contact you to do that?
All right, so Reform Generation have pages on Facebook. We have an Instagram page as well. Both of them is at Reform Generation. You could check at Reform Generation on Instagram. You could check at Reform Generation on Facebook. We also have our email, which is reformgencreatives@gmail.com. I repeat, reformgencreatives@gmail.com. You could also contact us at 712-3885. I repeat, 712-3885. And you could always WhatsApp, you could call that number, and someone will always be there to respond when needed.
All right, and last but not least, giving you the opportunity to big up your team again, because it's one thing, you would know so many musicians, singers, players of instruments. Why these individuals to take this journey with you?
I like that question. These individuals are first and foremost my personal friends. They also understood my vision for it. They understood why I want to target, the communities. They understand exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing as well. And they bought into the vision as soon as I explained it to them. And I know they all have their own personal lives happening, but they dedicated themselves to be a part of this with me. And I really want to appreciate and thank Ruel Lynch, Daniel Bishop, Karen Charles, John Waterman, Michelle Henry, and I have some other people behind the scenes that also is, pushing me and a part of it. And I'm going to call them out as well. Krystle Bascombe, Bert Williams, Ayanta Norris, Andy, I must thank Andy as well. And the team is growing. It will keep growing. I also want to thank the people that, when I place the ad out on social medias, I had a number of persons that would have reached out to me and said, how can I sponsor someone, or how can I, be a part of helping build this?
And in terms of being a part of helping build it, we have 712-3885, that's the number to call, or reformgencreatives@gmail.com. And we want to thank you so much, Krystle Bascombe, for being a part of it. On behalf of the entire news team, we want to thank you for tuning in to the TTT News Special.